Governor Walker in Washington, D.C. today. He's criticized Washington as a city of power-hungry elites.
And he was just in Iowa last weekend. The governor is looking more and more like a presidential candidate these days. NBC's Todd live in D.C. with us this afternoon with a preview of political topics he's working on for Sunday's Meet the Press. And Sunday, you have Wisconsin Congressman Paul Ryan on the show. Now, we've heard that he's not going to run for president in 2016. Does this open the door for Governor Walker?
I think it definitely does. I mean, I think Walker, when I look at sort of the way this field's going to shake out, if I were to say, if you had to pick 3 or 4 people that are the most likely to be the nominee, Walker would be among my final group of 3 or 4 at this point. I think of the non-Washington candidates, the non-so-called establishment candidates, think Jeb Bush, if you put Jeb Bush in sort of the establishment part of this, I think there's definitely Walker stands out because governor of a swing state, of a blue state, frankly, won 3 elections in 4 years. It's a pretty good, he's the one guy I think has the chance to unite sort of the conservative wing and the establishment wing. So I think with Romney out, I'll be curious to see. I think Jeb Bush is going to get the lion's share of the sort of the big establishment money. But I think some of those folks Walker has a shot at winning them over. I'll be curious to see over this next 6 months how well he does at wooing some of them.
Well, yeah, who does benefit from Mitt Romney leaving the race? A Fox News poll yesterday had Romney as the leader with more than 20%.
Well, I'd throw polling out. I think polling is sort of pointless right now because these candidates haven't been out there and they haven't been able to put their message out. This is for the next 6 months. This is about an insider's game, signing up money, staffers, and activists. And I think on that front, I think this provides a big opening for Walker to sort of become sort of a guy that could be a bridge candidate who could play in both wings of the party, the establishment old school wing and this conservative activist wing that's pretty fired up and that likes him. It helps Jeb Bush. I think if Romney was in, Jeb and Romney sort of split the establishment and maybe hurt both of them. I think now Jeb sort of has that lane to himself. It helps Chris Christie a little bit. I think he was getting squeezed out completely. I think now at least a few of these Wall Street donors who know him personally might, at least throw him a few bones and give him at least a financial lifeline. I still think ideologically he just isn't fit where the Republican Party is today, but I think it gives him some. And then look, Rand Paul, there's a lot of candidates today that are helped by Romney not running. But I think the 3 biggest beneficiaries are Jeb Bush, Scott Walker, and Chris Christie.
Do you see any endorsements coming soon? The rumor mill has Chris Christie and Romney having dinner tonight. Is that leading us anywhere?
I would highly doubt it. I think if anything, look, I think Romney is probably in the anybody but Bush category. A lot of Romney people have been saying that to me today. There is a little bit of a rivalry there between Jeb Bush and Mitt Romney. There's not a lot of love lost between the 2 men over the last 10 years, so that has something to do with it. I think Romney, there's no upside for him to endorse early. I think he's a guy that waits and waits and waits because I think, frankly, he still has this glimmer of hope in his own mind. Read his statement very carefully.
He has an itch.
I think if the whole field implodes, he'd love to be the guy going, hey, there's a draft in the room. My name's Mitt. How about me? So I don't think he endorses anybody.
Let's end on the quick, easy question. New England, Seattle.
I want to say Green Bay.
We knew it. We knew it. I said, don't ask him that.
I'm sorry. I know. Look, the head says Seattle, and the head says Seattle big.
All right. Todd, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. You can see Meet the Press Sunday morning. Today's TMJ4, 9 o'clock. Be there.